Okay, students, in the last video we discussed XX, XY system of sex determination. XX, XY system of sex determination was done in the last lecture, right? And if you remember, in the last lecture we discussed that in XX and XY system, for the development of the male, the Y chromosome is very important. The Y chromosome is very important for the development of the male characters, male reproductive organs, right? Now, in this video, we will give another example of sex determination, right? Where X and Y chromosomes are also present, X and Y chromosomes are also there, but the Y chromosome is not so much important for the determination of sex. The example is in Drosophila. In Drosophila, we also have the X and Y chromosomes, XX and XY chromosomes, and the Y chromosome. And this Y chromosome, it is important, this Y chromosome is important for the fertility of the male, but it has nothing to do, the Y chromosome has nothing to do with the determination of sex, so far as male is concerned. In this Drosophila, the genes or the alleles which are responsible for the development of the sex, they are so distributed on X, on Y and on autosomes that the net effect, the net result is that the sex is determined by the ratio of X over A. The sex is determined by the ratio between the X chromosomes and autosomes. Right? So this is known as X over A ratio. X over O ratio determines the sex of the individual in case of Drosophila, right? And this X by A ratio was first of all explained by C.B. Bridges in 1926 in this genic balance theory. This X by A ratio, which is responsible for the sex determination in case of Drosophila, was explained by genic balance theory by C.B. Bridges, right? Now, X, we can also write this as number of X chromosomes, number of X chromosomes, number of X chromosomes, and number of sets of autosomes. So this ratio, that's number of X chromosomes over sets of autosomes, will determine the sex of the individual in case of Drosophila. For example, if the ratio of X over A, is equal to 1, when it will be 1, when it will be equal to 1. For example, there are 2 X chromosomes and there are 2 sets of autosomes. So we can write like this, 2 over 2, that is equal to 1. So when the ratio is 1, when the X over A ratio is 1, the individual is female. A female fly. Now, for example, if the X over A ratio is 0.5, when it will be 0.5, for example, there is 1 X chromosome. In the genotype, there is only 1 X chromosome, and there are what? 2 sets of autosomes. So we can write 1 over 2, that is equal to 0.5. And when the ratio of X over A is 0.5, the individual is male. The individual is male. So when the X over A ratio is 1, the individual is female. And when X over A ratio is 0.5, you can understand when it will be 1 and when it will be 0.5. So the individual is male here. Now if it is, for example, above 1, if the ratio is, for example, above 1, for example, the X over A ratio is above 1. When it is above 1, when it will be above 1? When it will be above 1, yes? Please tell me when it is above 1. For example, yes, 3/2. For example, there are 3 X chromosomes, right, and there are 2 sets of autosomes. The ratio will be 1.5. Okay. The ratio will be 1.5, and when the ratio will be 1.5, this individual is a super female. The individual will be a super female. And similarly, if the ratio of X over A is below 1. If it is below 1, for example, if it is, for example, 3 over 1, okay. So if the ratio of X over A is, for example, 0.3, for example, there is 1 X chromosome and there are 3 sets of autosomes, the ratio will be 0.33. This individual is super male. The individual is super male. The fly is super male. And similarly, if the ratio is 2/3, that is, there are 2 X chromosomes and there are 3 sets of autosomes, the ratio will be 0.6, for example, and this individual is intersex. Because this ratio, if you look at this ratio lies between 0.5 to 1. Since this ratio lies between 0.5 to 1, so the individual will be intersex. So this is how the sex is decided, how the sex is determined in case of Drosophila, where X chromosome is there, where Y chromosome is there. But the Y chromosome has nothing to do with the determination of sex. Rather, the number of X chromosomes and the autosomes, they both decide the sex of the individual, and it is given as X over A ratio. So depending on the X over A ratio, the sex of the individual is decided. It may be female when the ratio is 1, it is male when the ratio is 0.5, and it is super female when the ratio is above 1, that is 1.5, and it is, if the ratio is 0.3, for example, it is super male, the individual is super male, and if it lies between the 0.5 to 1, if the ratio is 0.5 to 1, then it is intersex, right? There is one more thing in the Drosophila. There is one more interesting thing in the Drosophila that I would like to tell you. In Drosophila, some individuals, some flies, in Drosophila, some individuals develop as gynandro. Some individuals develop as gynandromorphs. Some individuals are called as gynandromorphs. Gynandro, that means having some female tissues, andro having some male tissues. That means one fly, let's say for example it's a Drosophila, a fly, and this fly, it is having 2 types of tissues in its body. This fly is having 2 types of tissues in its body. It's having 2 types of tissues in its body. Now for example, these are the lateral sides of the body, right? From this side of the fly, we have the male tissues, right? And from this side of the body, the fly have female tissues. So this single individual, the single fly is having both the types of tissues in its body, male tissues and female tissues, and these tissues lie on the lateral sides of the body. So you can say it is a lateral type of gynandromorph. These are called lateral gynandromorphs. But the question is how both the types of tissues, that's male tissues and the female tissues, are developed in the fly. How they are developed, right? How the male tissues and female tissues both exist in the same fly. So we have to understand very important point that, for example, let's say for example this is the zygote of the fly, where from this fly will develop, and this zygote is having two sets of autosomes. It's having two sets of autosomes, plus it is having two X chromosomes. Let's say it is having two autosomes and two X chromosomes. This is zygote, and you know the zygote is going to divide by the process of cleavage, right? And normally what should happen if there is equal divisions of this zygote, that's first cleavage, two cells are formed, and if there are equal divisions, so there will be formation of two cells. This will be the one cell, one blastoma, and it will be A plus XX, two autosomes, two X chromosomes, equal division, mitosis, and this will be another cell in the same individual. This is having two autosomes again and two X chromosomes. So this is when the normal cleavage will take place, when the normal division will take place. But sometimes what happens, when this first cleavage occurs, from the one cell, one X chromosome is lost. And when one X chromosome is lost, so obviously the cell will become what? The cell have two autosomes, two sets of autosomes, plus X and 0. 0 means nothing. That means it has lost one of its X chromosomes. And you know that we have already discussed, when there is loss of this one chromosome, X chromosome, right? So this cell will develop into the male tissues. And this cell will develop into the female tissues. Since both the cells are present in the same fly, so this fly will develop as a gynandromorph. The fly will develop as a gynandromorph, having both the tissues in the body. Some are male tissues, some are female tissues. And here you have to understand that this resulted due to this loss of one X chromosome during the cleavage process, right? And as a result, this cell will have some different phenotype, and these cells, the tissues which develop from this cell, will have different phenotypes, and the individual is called as gynandromorphs, right? Now let's come to the one more example. So far we have explained XX, XY type of sex determination, and we have given the special emphasis to the humans, right, where Y chromosome is very, very important for the development of the sex, for the development of the male individual. But here in case of Drosophila, we have seen some different case where Y is not so much important for the development of the male, rather X over A ratio determines the sex of the individual. Now we have another example of this male heterogamety, and if you remember that another example of male heterogamety was XXX0 type of sex determination, XXX0 type of sex determination. And this XXX0 type of sex determination is found in some insects, for example grasshoppers. It's found in some insects like grasshoppers. It's found in some cockroaches, and crickets. So these are some insects where this type of sex determination is found, XX0 type of sex determination. Here again we can say this individual that is having two autosomes, two sets of autosomes I should say, plus having two X chromosomes, it is female. Yes, it is female. It's female. And another individual that is having two sets of autosomes and having only one X chromosome, another is absent, that's X0. Another X chromosome is absent. So this individual is male, right? This individual is male. And when there is gametogenesis, this female can produce only similar type of gametes, that is A plus X. This will be the egg, and another gamete is also A plus X. So same type of eggs are produced by the female, homogametic. While in this male individual, when the male produces the sperms, one gamete will be A plus X. So this is a type of sperm, and another type of sperm is A plus 0. So this gamete is not having any allosome, any X chromosome or Y chromosome, right? Now again the sex is determined at the time of fertilization. Sex is decided at the time of fertilization. So we need to cross them, and in order to cross them we simply plot again a Punnett square, and in this Punnett square here we will place the male gametes. So the male gametes are A plus X and A plus 0. These are the male gametes. From this side we have the female gametes. So we have the similar type of female gametes, A plus X and A plus X. Cross. So let's cross these. So we have this individual, we will get this individual A plus XX. We will get this individual A plus X0. Here again we will get this individual, that's A plus XX individual, and we have A plus X0. So look at these two. These are again males. They will develop as males, and these two, this one and this one, they will develop as females. So again the sex is determined, or the sex is decided by the male gametes, because this male is heterogametic, can produce two different types of gametes. So this was another example of male heterogamy or male heterogamety that we started first, and in that we discussed first the XY type of sex determination, and now we discussed this another type of example that's known as XX and X0 system, which is found in grasshoppers, cockroaches and some other insects, right? Now, so we have to move to the next part of this sex determination called chromosomal sex determination, where female is capable of producing two different types of gametes. So we have another example of chromosomal sex determination, that is called female heterogamy or female heterogamety. So first of all, you understand again, here in this case, not the male, this is reverse of this. Here the female is capable of producing two different types of gametes. Female is capable of producing two different types of gametes or eggs. And we can cite two examples here. We have already mentioned in the first lecture, in the first video, right? We have here two examples, that is, one is ZW and another is ZZ0, right? We have changed the alphabets so that confusions can be avoided. So this individual here, in this case, we can write like this, that is having two autosomes plus ZZ. This is one individual and this is another individual having two sets of autosomes plus ZW. So here we have to change this individual which is having the similar type of sex chromosome ZZ. This individual is male. Yes, it is male. And this individual which is having two different types of sex chromosomes, allosomes, is female. And this type of sex determination, where the male is having the similar type of X chromosomes and female is having the different types of X chromosomes that we represent with ZZ and ZW, this type of system is found in some reptiles. It is found in some reptiles, this type of sex determination, and in some birds. So some reptiles are the examples where we see this type of sex determination ZZ, ZW, where the male is homogametic, producing similar type of gametes, and female is producing two different types of gametes. So again, we can see if there is gametogenesis in this individual, male individual, it can produce similar types of gametes. One will be A plus Z, another is also A plus Z, similar, homogametic, while this female individual produces two different types of gametes. One is A plus Z and another will be A plus W. So here you can see the female is heterogametic. Female is producing two different types of gametes. Again, we can cross and we can solve our problem by plotting this Punnett square again, as we have done in the previous examples. So here we can write the male gametes which are similar, A plus Z, and here again it is A plus Z, and from this side it is female, that is A plus Z, and this one is A plus W. Now cross A plus ZZ, yes, here again it's A plus ZZ, right, and here we have, this is, we can cross with this and we can cross with this, it's A plus W here, it's A plus W here. So we have the AA plus ZW, yes, this is female individual, and again this one, that is AA plus ZZ and AA plus ZW, right. So this individual, these two individuals, these are females, and these two individuals, these are males, right. So this is simply different from the first one, that is X and XY and X0 system. How it is different from that one? Because the female is capable of producing two different types of gametes. Yes. Where is the problem? Here?
Yeah, A plus Z.
Okay, yeah. Yes. A plus Z. So let me repeat this again. We have to cross. When for crossing these individuals, we will plot a Punnett square, and in this Punnett square, here we will show the male gametes, and here we can show the female gametes. Okay, we have here shown the female gametes. Here we have shown the female gametes. These are the female gametes here, and these are the. So this system is different from the first one, because here the female is capable of producing two different types of gametes and male is producing similar type of gametes, right. Now sex is again determined at the time of fertilization, so we have to cross these gametes, and for crossing we can plot a Punnett square here again, and in this Punnett square here we will represent the female gametes. One is the A plus Z, another is A plus W. These are two different gametes produced by the female, and here we have the two similar type of gametes, A plus Z produced by the male. Okay. Now When we cross, so we'll get these individuals, that's AA plus ZZ. This one is again AA plus ZZ. These two individuals have this complement, that's AA plus ZW, AA plus ZW. So simply these two individuals are again, these are females. These are females. And these two individuals, this one and this one, these are males. So it's very simple. Simply we have to understand that in this case the female is capable of producing two different types of gametes. One is A plus Z, another is A plus W. Now come to this one. Come to this example. This is again one more example of female heterogamety. Female heterogamety, but here again one of the sex chromosomes, allosomers, is absent. So that's why we write ZZ, Z0, 0 means nothing. So there is no another sex chromosome. And this, in this type of system, for example, this is the individual, again AA plus ZZ, it is male, it's male, and this is another individual, that is AA plus Z0. AA represents the autosomes. Now this can produce, this individual produce again the similar type of gametes, that's A plus Z, and this is again A plus Z, and this individual produces one gamete, that's A plus Z, another is A plus 0, right? Now again we have to cross these gametes in order to see the sex of the individual which is developed at the time of fertilization. So again let me plot a unit square. This is the simplest way to cross. So here I will represent first these male gametes. So the male gametes are similar. You can say A plus Z, A plus Z, and female gametes are different. One is A plus Z, another is without any chromosome, sex chromosome, that's A plus 0. So this one is A plus ZZ. This one is what? Okay, this one is AA plus Z0, Z0, and this one is AA plus ZZ, and this one is again AA plus Z0. So these two individuals again, these are females, 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 and these two individuals are again males, males. So this is one more example where we see the females are capable of producing two different types of gametes. This is different from the first one because here we have a condition that is in case of female where the one X chromosome is absent. Instead of having two X chromosomes, there is only one sex chromosome that is represented as Z0, right? And this type of, let me tell you, this type of sex determination, that is ZZ Z0 system, is found in some, it's found in some, moths. It's found in some moths and butterflies. In some moths and butterflies. Okay. Another example of the sex determination system is environmental sex determination. Environmental sex determination. Environmental sex determination. So in environmental sex determination, there are some external conditions which are actually responsible for the determination of sex of an individual. And in some animals, for example, there are some reptiles, for example, crocodiles. In crocodiles and in some lizards, we find these this type of sex determination in crocodiles and lizards. For example, if we discuss in these crocodiles, what we see, if an egg is incubated, at higher temperature, if an egg is incubated at higher temperature, if an egg is incubated at higher temperature, male develops. While if the same egg is incubated at low temperature, if the egg is incubated at low temperature, female develops. So here some external condition is responsible for the determination of sex. For example, higher temperature induces the maleness and the low temperature induces the femaleness in case of these crocodiles. If we give example of any lizard, for example, there is a lizard which is known as Chrysema picta. This is the scientific name of a lizard, Chrysema picta, where we have observed that if the egg, we have the reverse of this. In Chrysema picta, if the egg is incubated at low temperature, male develops. While if the egg is incubated at high temperature, female develops. So in this case, Chrysema picta, this is the lizard. So here we have the reverse of this. Here high temperature is responsible for the maleness and low temperature is responsible for the female characters. In Chrysema picta, it is the low temperature where the male develops, and at higher temperature female develops. In fact, in such organisms, in their bodies, in their cells, there are both the types of alleles, there are both the types of genes. But it is the external condition which is actually inducing some genes, which is stimulating some genes which are responsible for the maleness or the femaleness. Here, for example, the high temperature is inducing the male characters in the individual, and here the low temperature is inducing the female characters in the individual, right? And here we have the reverse of this one. Now, there is one more example, very interesting example, where we have some different phenomenon. For example, there is a sea worm. We have an example of sea worm, and this sea worm is known as Bonilia. The sea worm is known as Bonilia. Now, in this Bonilia, if it is larva, larva which develops from a zygote, if it's larva, it's a sea worm. Let's say this is the surface of the water and this is the depth of the water. If the larva settle at the surface, if the larva is here, for example, if the larva is in isolation, this larva, it develops into the female. But if the same larva, if it settles down close to an already female, let's say it is a female, already existing female, it's female, and if this larva comes very close to the female, already existing female, then the same larva develops into male. So this is one more example of sex determination, where some external conditions are actually responsible for the determination of sex. So we have discussed first one, that is in crocodiles, and the second is the Chrysema picta, where the temperature is responsible for the sex determination. Here some other conditions are responsible. The larva, that is if settles on the surface, develops into the female to continue the generations, and if it settles down close to the already existing female, then the larva develops into the male, and then there is further reproduction. So this is example of environmental type of sex determination. Now, let's conclude this topic of sex determination. We have one more example of sex determination. As I have told you in the beginning, we have a type of sex determination in case of some insects where the sets of chromosomes determine the sex of an individual, and in this case we have a very interesting example that's known as haploid-diploidy system or haplodiploidy system. So let me give this example now that I have mentioned earlier in my first video. We have also this example. So haplodiploidy system, right? So here we have the two types of individuals in this type of sex determination. One is a haploid individual, and another is a diploid individual. So this haploid individual, it is having the N condition, there is single set of chromosomes, and in diploid condition we have 2N condition, that is 2 sets of chromosomes. Let's give an example. For example, in case of honeybees, as we have discussed already, in case of honeybees, in honeybee colony there are 3 castes. One is drone, another is queen, and one more is workers, right? Now, so far as this drone is concerned, it develops from an unfertilized egg. Parthenogenetically, by the means of parthenogenesis. So obviously this individual drone, it is always haploid, it's having the N condition, it's haploid. If I will if I will give the number of chromosomes in the honeybees, this drone is having only 16 chromosomes in its cells. While this queen and worker, these two castes, queen and worker, they have, each of them have 32 chromosomes in their cells. That means these two individuals are diploid. So here you can see that this haploid individual which is having only 16 chromosomes is male, drone is male, and these two individuals which are having the diploidy condition, queen and worker, they are females, right? Now here I would like to add one more thing, that actually these all eggs are laid, the eggs where from a drone develops, that's a haploid egg, and where from the queen and the workers develop, that they are diploid eggs. But all the eggs are actually laid by a queen. Queen lay 2 types of eggs, that is unfertilized egg, haploid eggs. Queen lays 2 types of eggs, unfertilized egg, and the queen lays fertilized eggs. Right? Now, it is this queen, it is using its ootheca, a structure where the eggs are deposited. Some eggs are fertilized while mating with the drone in aerial mating, that is called aerial marriage also, that's called nuptial flight also. During that process, some eggs are fertilized while some eggs are kept unfertilized. And let me tell you, from these unfertilized eggs, again this is the drone which develops from the unfertilized eggs, drone, and from these fertilized eggs, workers develop, worker larvae develop, right? Workers, and among the same workers, the larvae are fed by a special food that's known as royal jelly, and when a larva of the worker is fed with royal jelly, the same worker develops into fertile queen. fertile queen. And these workers are the rest of the larvae. They are given a different type of food that's known as bee bread. Bee bread. So here actually the point is a larva which is fed by the royal jelly develops into the queen for further egg laying, while the rest of the larvae which are given the bee bread, they develops into the workers. And by the way, these workers are sterile. These are sterile females. They do not show the reproduction. The process of reproduction is only shown by the queen, not by the workers. So workers they sacrifice their reproduction, they abolish their reproduction, they do not go for the reproduction. Reproduction is only done by the queen. But the most important thing that we have to understand here, that is a different story, how the workers develop and how the queen develops. Here we have to understand a very important point, that this unfertilized egg that is developing into drone, it's a male, and fertilized egg which have 2N condition, diploidy condition, they develop into females. So this type of sex determination is known as haplodiploidy type of sex determination, right? Sex determination. So almost we have completed this topic of sex determination. We have given so many examples so far. Lastly, I will give you one more example. I can cite one more example here. That's a type of sex determination where hormones have some effect on the development of sexual characters. In case of calves, right? In case of calves, sometimes what happens, sometimes what happens, two zygotes develop simultaneously. Two zygotes develop simultaneously. But among these zygotes, one zygote is male. This is male, and this zygote is genetically female. Okay. So we can say these are two dizygotic. They can develop into two dizygotic twins. They can develop into two dizygotic twins. This will be the male and this will be the female. This will develop into male, this will develop into female, right? But what happens sometimes during the development, sometimes their fetal membranes come in contact with each other. This male comes in contact with the female by the fetal connections, and as a result some male hormones are transferred to this female. Male hormones are transferred to this female from this individual, from this embryo, right? And as a result of these male hormones which get transferred to the female individual, female blood, this female, it becomes sterile. It do not develop its sexual characters properly, and this sterile female, this sterile calf that developed due to these male hormones that suppress the female development, female characters in this individual, this sterile female is known as free Martin. It's known as free Martin. The sterile female, which resulted due to the connections between the two fetal connections, where some male hormones enter into the body of the female, and those hormones suppress the female development in the female, and the female becomes sterile, and the sterile female is known as free Martin. And with this example, we have completed this very important topic of genetics, that's known as sex determination. All the best.